Hey everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith's Print and Pray Shop, and today I want to share with you how I am working through Brave Little Tailor's Fishers of Men devotional kit that is in the Print and Pray Shop. First, let me show you the devotional content in it, and I have a traveler's notebook here that I have actually filled with all of Taylor's devos from this year that are in the Print and Pray Shop so far. So here is the Fishers of Men devotional content. So it's all about becoming a disciple of Jesus, and she is focusing on Peter here. So we've got 4 pages of devotional content, and there are, 5 sections in her devo. So my goal was to create 5 Bible journaling entries with this set. And so today I'm going to show you the 4 of the 5 that I've done, and I'll do my 5th one with you in the Illustrating Bible here in Luke 5. And then I also want to show you like the little kit that I assembled before I made any of my entries, so that it would be super easy for me just to grab a few supplies that I pulled from my stash that coordinated with Taylor's set to go ahead and make these 5 or so pages. So you can see in this release there are a lot of blues and aquas and oranges and a light pink, and so I looked for those colors when I went to my alphabet stash. So here are just some different alphabet stickers from different companies that kind of coordinate with those colors. So having those pulled aside really saved me a lot of time when I went to make each one of these pages. I've got a little organizational tray here, I think it's from the Dollar Tree, where I am able to put Taylor's pieces that I cut apart, and like there is an ephemera sheet that I'll show you. I've totally used every single piece on it. This is all that's left, so it's really fun to use up an entire set. And the cool thing about the digital pieces, of course, is that you can print them off as many times as you want for your own personal use. So really, you can make 100 pages with Taylor's set. I've got some other fun little finishing touches, like some enamel hearts, some other supplies that I thought might coordinate with the theme of the devotional kit, some washi tapes, my tape runner, and then I have a few stamp sets that I have pulled. This one I wanted to use for the fun art marks, things like that. And then I also have her patterned papers cut out and ready to go. These have been used already. I've punched tabs from them. I've fussy cut them out. So I have all of these things together, hanging out, waiting for me for when I'm ready to jump into my Illustrating Bible and create those pages. So the very first thing I did, even before I pulled all of the supplies, was to actually work through this amazing devotional content. Taylor's really good at having us read for ourselves what God's Word says, and then asking us prompting questions about how we can apply that to our lives. So, as promised, I'll go ahead and show you the first 4 pages that I did before I go ahead and get started on my 5th page here. And if you want to be able to refer back to this information, I've created a blog post that walks through assembling the kit, my other pages, and things like that. Like basically how to kit a Print and Pray devotional set. The first of the 5 is the one that I'm going to do today. So then the second page, which is actually the first one that I did, is this page in Matthew. And Taylor has a really handy card here that describes a disciple. And so basically each entry that I created jumps off from this list here. So I used some of the patterned paper here. I used an older piece from her Walk on Waves set that released last year to create this page. And so you'll see everything on here is using all of the supplies that I just shared with you. Okay, so that's the first one. And then the next one is in Acts. Here I used, again, those alphabet stickers, the little fish from the printable ephemera. This pink stuff here is actually a stencil. I forgot to mention the stencils that I had pulled from my stash to use. This one, I picked this one because it kind of looked like a net, and so I just rubbed some distress ink through that stencil. So same kind of formula almost. A big title, journaling, a tab, and then some little finishing touches. Then the next one that I did is on the reverse of this page. So I'm using a little journaling box here to write down my takeaway, a cross-reference that I wanted to include here, these adorable fish from the printable ephemera, and then some of these little stamps from her stamp set. That's coming back to the Illustrated Faith shop in the coming months. So this is 3 of 4, and then so this is actually like part 2 of the page that I'm going to create today, because you'll notice the title says To Fisher of Men. So you'll see how those two kind of talk to each other as I'm creating the one in Luke 5. And then the last entry that I did is here in Matthew 16, which is actually on this page, but I just wrote out the verse here and then I'm pointing you back here like, hey, this is from Matthew 15. So again, using some alpha stickers, the washi tape, the little finishing touches, some stamps, and then Taylor's printables. So it was super fun to work through this, and I've just showed you how you can get 4 entries from this one release, and I'm going to show you how I get my 5th and final one. So let's head back over to Luke 5 and we'll get started. Okay, so I have pulled out some patterned paper options and the alphabet stickers and ephemera pieces from Taylor's set that I think I want to use. And to pay tribute to Taylor, I'm going to cut out some letters from one of her sheets of patterned paper. So she does this on her pages and it's so fun, and I love patterned paper and will take any excuse to get it into in the margins of my Bible. So what I'm using is just a mechanical pencil to sketch out the letters that spell out the word you. Originally I had thought about doing it on the front side of the paper and thought, well, the letters that I'm cutting out, they'll look the same from either side. So I decided to go on the back instead, and you can see that it's kind of messy, which is okay. I'm looking for something a little bit wonky, and I'm just going to cut out each letter by hand. So there we go, a nice big bold title to get us started. Then I'm going to look to the other alphabet stickers that I have set to the side to use to finish spelling out my title, which is going to say, Because You Say. So in Luke 5, in chapter 4, we see Jesus with Simon Peter. He gets into his boat to teach a crowd of people, and in verse 4, it reads, When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, Put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch. Simon answered, Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything, but because you say so, I will let down the nets. So in her devotional, Taylor says that a disciple trusts the word and authority of Jesus, even when it doesn't make human sense. She asks, Are there any areas of your life that you are not giving Jesus authority over? And then she has us fill in this blank. Because you say so, Jesus, I will blank. Then she invites us to take some time to journal our response as a prayer of surrender. And so that's what this page is for me today. So I'm thinking about using the card here that comes in her ephemera set that has a little space for your response. It says, Because you say, I will. And so I'm going to use that today underneath this phrase in the margin here. I thought it would be really fun to layer some more patterned paper underneath that, so I'm going to go with this blue fish patterned paper for the most contrast. I'm just going to let it hang off the edge a little bit, and then I'm actually going to tear it because I really like the look of torn paper. It just adds a little more texture to the page. There we go. It's not perfect, but I'm going to continue to layer some more stuff underneath it to bulk it up a little bit. So once that's all set, I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of it, and then I decided to layer some of this really tiny black and white polka dot washi tape underneath it. And I'm going to leave a little bit of that hanging off the edge, and then I'll go ahead and trim off that excess patterned paper. In the name of symmetry, I'm going to go ahead and add some more of that same washi tape to the top of that box, and then leave that space for journaling. Now I'm looking at my tab options here. I think I'm going to go with this blue patterned paper again because it's just such a beautiful color and I want to bring some more blue to the page. So I'm going to go ahead and place that on top, and then I thought about using this stencil again. Instead of using it with like distress ink or putting some type of medium through it, I decided just to take my favorite Papermate pen and just draw some lines through it to make it look like a net. So I'm going to do that in a couple places, again underneath the tab. And you could totally freehand this too, but I had this stencil there and I thought, why not use that? And I'll go ahead and get that guy down and continue on from there. So I've got this phrase that I cut up from Taylor's set, and it is what is going to link this entry into Acts 2 verses 40 to 41. So I'm going to have it say here, from fishermen, and then reference the page in Acts 2 where it finishes the thought by saying to fisher of men, because Taylor points out a really amazing parallel in her devotional, and I just thought it was too good not to include here on my page. Then I'm going to look to this sticker sheet. It's the Fruit of the Spirit sticker sheet, and I've got a bunch of pieces left over from that. This pink border sticker matches the colors of this digital printable set very well, so I'm going to tear off a bit of that and layer it around my page. Here's another heart from that set that goes really well, and even the theme matches. It's a heart that says trust. And then look for a word fetty to put at the top of my page. To bring some more yellow in, I'm going to use some of the highlighter washi tape and use a couple pieces just to outline the passage that I am referencing today. Then I'm going to get my tab finished. So there's a little word fetty up there that says surrender, and then I am writing down that Acts 2 reference. See, so these pages, they go together. I love it. It's just so amazing. Next, I'm going to go to some of my favorite stamp sets that include art marks, which are a really fun finishing touch to add to your pages. And I have some pink ink that I'm going to use to stamp around the page just to fill in some of this white space. Again, this is something you could totally hand draw on your page with different color markers or colored pencils or something. And then I'm going to go in with like a spotty dot stamp and stamp over those other areas. Then I'm going to add a date stamp. I'm going to put this yellow heart up here next to my title. I'm going to jot down a little blurb from Taylor's devotional content in between the box and my title, and then that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. If you want to pick up Taylor's Fishers of Men digital devotional kit, I've got it linked down in the video description below. And don't forget, if you want to check out that blog post where I share photos and list some additional tips, you can find that post also down in the box below the video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.